This is Reed Sootman with DecaturVote.com interviewing
John Jackson, Macon County Treasurer.
All right, so then we'll get to your platform. In your words, what does the county treasurer do?
The county treasurer accounts for all monies for budgetary purposes and or collections and distributions. So in a sense, the office is twofold, which people don't realize. You have collections, you have treasury. The treasury aspect is all departments under the county's oversight come through the treasurer's office. So all money that comes in from any grant, any state funding, any funding at all is reconciled in the office, and it's made available to the funding for the auditor side for your AP, your payroll, and such. Then you have the collection side, which you collect the extensions of the taxes from the clerk's office. We collect that and make distributions back to the taxing districts.
Okay. All right. Broadly speaking, why are you running for Macon County Treasurer?
To improve the community, to improve the treasurer's office and the county as a whole.
Okay. How does your role in the treasurer's office allow you to improve the community?
Money oversight,
okay.
Spend, incoming and outgoing. Here again, like I said, all the money that is collected for taxes is reconciled in the office, and all money that is in the daily budget for the county comes to the office.
Okay.
So you have transparency of all funding sources for the county.
Okay. All right. What are your top 3 priorities for your next term as county treasurer?
Continue the automation of the office. And that is all electronic records, a basic overview of a cleanup of all the historical systems.
Okay.
Redundant task with paperwork, we'll streamline that. Any files that can be saved electronically through state governance, we'll make that, we'll implement those.
Okay.
We'll keep old paper files where state says you have to.
Okay.
So in a sense, you can look out there and there's not stacks of paper. When I took over, papers were stacked up everywhere.
Okay.
So we'll just streamline the process, clean it up, make it more efficient and effective. Number 2 would probably be the continuation of the cross-training of all employees.
Okay.
To where if someone is out, historically you have to wait for that person to come back. The office is more efficient.
Okay. All right. So the continued automation and like
continuous improvement of the, overall the continuous improvement of the process.
Okay.
Per se.
Okay. And the cross-training employees and a third thing?
I'm going to say the third thing would be document all state statute, make sure that we are operating in a timely and efficient manner. State mandates certain things get done, and we're going to follow that to the T.
Okay. All right, thank you. With the electronic records, are you also required to keep paper copies of certain things?
There's certain paper copies you have to keep, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you keep those in the office here, or is there like a
store? There's a vault in the back room.
Okay.
That is paper, and you're also bound by state statute. You have to put in a request for if you want to purge anything. The state has to approve it, and you give them what you're going to get rid of, and they send you back a written permission to expunge records.
Okay. Now, are there certain records that you're allowed to delete automatically after a certain amount of time?
Yeah, there are certain things, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Why do you think county treasurer is a partisan elected position? And how might a Democrat candidate differ in their execution of county treasurer?
I'm going to say historically, regardless of party, there really isn't a set job prescription per se. I think that, how do I put this? If you just follow the guidance of what the state says, you could just almost come into work and show up, turn the lights on and go home. That needs. I think that my approach is I'm hands-on. I want to change that. I'm hands-on with every single process out there. I'll take a payment up there. I process payments. I have all the mail. I want to know what's going on. I'm the point of contact with anything with the state.
Okay.
But the team knows we all delegate everything. Everybody's in the loop. We meet weekly. We discuss anything that's open and ongoing to keep everybody informed.
Okay. So it's not so much a partisan difference as it is just the way any individual might conduct their
That would be
office?
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
That's a perfect statement. As far as a party, it's irrelevant.
Okay. All right. What changes have you made to the county treasurer's office since you were appointed in 2021?
We have automated the process. We've cross-trained. We have standard operating procedures for every job out there.
Okay.
They're all in electronic format and written. If a treasurer was to follow me, they could walk in with a booklet on how to run the office.
Okay.
Everything is documented.
Okay.
Total transparency. If anybody would want to see it, we've got it all.
Okay. So before you were appointed, there was there less transparency and
Correct. There was
less
nothing. It was all compartmentalized. Everybody stayed in their own lane.
Okay.
You had assigned roles and you didn't step out of those roles.
Okay.
And hence the reason I saw that if somebody came in and had some special need and the person wasn't here, it had to wait.
Okay.
And my background's continuous improvement. I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt practitioner. I find problems, I solve problems. I'm a project manager, so these were elementary things in my toolbox.
Okay. All right. What role, if any, do you play in the county's legislative process?
As the treasurer, very little. You have, you'll handle the trustee for properties that taxes were delinquent, tax sale, abandoned properties. You have oversight with that. But as far as anything beyond that, you wouldn't.
Okay. Do you bring any resolutions to the county board?
I do. I bring monthly. I do delinquent tax sales monthly.
Okay.
Budget items, anything that if any department needs detailed spend analytics, I can pull that. Account balances, we do that. Everything is reconciled daily.
Okay.
So I can bring anything, any budget item anybody could need, I can provide that.
Okay. Do you do any like political advocacy for certain policies or to like increase your budget or anything like that?
Just the budget in this office per se, only.
Yeah.
That's only, yes.
Okay.
But I would help any department if they needed to pull data for their budget. Yes, I could help assist.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now we'll talk a little bit about your history and ambitions. Right. So, from reading from the Herald and Review, I understand you were elected to the Macon County Board in 2014, became the Finance Committee Chair in 2018, and Vice Chair of the Board in 2020. Then in 2021, you were nominated and appointed by the County Board to be the County Treasurer, replacing Ed Yoder, who retired that year. And you worked for ADM from 2007 until 2021. A few weeks when you resigned a few weeks into your treasurer position. Is that all accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. Did your work with ADM prepare you for being the county treasurer, and if so, in what ways?
The last role I had at ADM, I was over global real estate.
Okay.
So I had moved $500 million in property in 3 years.
Okay.
And prior to that, I worked many years in continuous improvement globally. And mergers and acquisitions, sale of assets, digging into systems, global systems to interact with AP, AR globally into the United States.
What's AP and AR?
Accounts payables and receivables.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I traded commodities for several years, managed our portfolio for, I guess you could call it, co-products for on the soybean side.
Okay.
When I was in the real estate, I sat in the global security under their umbrella. So I had reach globally with the company.
Okay. Did you manage employees at that time?
I had, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So were you in charge of a lot of the kind of process things that you're in charge of here?
Yes.
Okay.
I did, yeah, the continuous improvement. I worked all over the United States, South America, and Europe to make things more efficient, more effective.
Okay.
In the operations.
Okay. All right. What formal education do you have to qualify you for treasurer?
I have a bachelor's degree in management.
Okay.
Like I said, I've got Lean Six Sigma black belt statistics. I am a registered, business continuity. That was the last training I had in 2020 or 21. I completed that. Business continuity is just a plan. It's a recovery plan, finding the weak links in a city, a county, a state, a government, a business, and putting stop gaps in place in the event of a catastrophe.
Okay. All right. What motivated you to run for county board in 2014?
The interest in the community, the possibility to affect it in a positive manner.
Were there some specific things you wanted to see changed?
You know, that's interesting because I don't think that from the county board side, until you get in, you don't know, you really don't understand. I think you come and do enough meetings, but it's hard to explain. I'm trying to think about it. What you see isn't what you get. I mean, you think you can make change, but then there's politics comes into play, and it can go to where you can't get a lot done.
Okay.
It's just, and hence the reason I think that if they can reduce the board, you know, this next time in November, December 1st, it should help things.
Okay.
It's just less noise or less moving pieces to try to put together. Everybody has good intentions on the board, but I think that it's more work than people realize. It's not just showing up, looking at an agenda, and you got to dig in. I mean, you've seen some of the full packets can be big, and you really got to dig in,
right?
If you really want to make a good change.
So, were there any specific changes you wanted to implement and were not able to get through during your time on the county board?
Oh yeah, there's always things, like I can't name them, but there's always something you wish you could do. But there's, you know, and that's what the political system in the United States is. It actually is phenomenal if you look at all of it through. You represent your districts, and that's your role. And a lot of times you're like-minded in those decisions you try to bring for change.
Okay. All right. What motivated you to run again for county board in 2018?
I would say it's just the same thing.
Same thing.
You get to where you understand it and you can navigate, and you're a better board member.
Okay. All right. What are your future plans for politics? Do you plan to run again if you lose this election? Do you plan to run for other offices in the future, state offices?
I would say not. I'd say that for the political aspirations, this is as high as it gets.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't call the role political. I mean, it's a job. I mean, you need somebody that cares and wants to come in and do the do the job right and do the county right.
Okay. Do you find the election process, does that, and campaigning, does that distract you at all from your duties as treasurer?
No, it does not.
Okay. All right. That is all for the history. So I had read that you have a $90,000 salary as treasurer. If you don't mind me asking, how does that compare to your salary at ADM?
Much reduced.
Okay. Would you care to share specifics?
I don't want to.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's fine. Do you expect a salary increase if you are elected this year?
I don't expect anything.
Okay.
But it's not the money that drives me.
Right. Okay. Right. And then Ed Yoder was criticized for several issues during his last year or so as treasurer. One criticism was only sending property tax distributions 3 times per year. In your tenure, have distributions been sent every 30 days as recommended by state law?
Yes, they have.
Okay. Have there been any hiccups in that at any time, or?
There has not. And actually, I pulled some data. Mr. Yoder's last year for distributions was half of what we made for first distribution last year and this year.
Oh.
So we doubled. The distribution for his last distribution would have been 2020.
Okay.
That was around $45 million. We made a distribution in 2021 of, excuse me, around $90 million.
Okay.
And we made a distribution on the 15th of July of $88 million.
Okay.
This year.
Okay. Why would your distributions be larger?
Reconciliation. Once we got the payments we processed, we got them in the bank. They were reconciled that we could make distributions.
Okay. So if Ed Yoder was not making that sizable distributions, where did that money go?
It was probably in the office, but not reconciled.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Another criticism was not depositing property tax payments quickly enough. Have you consistently ensured deposits happen within 2 business days?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and that is somebody comes in and gives you a check for their property taxes, and then you deposit it within 2 days?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That was the hard and fast rule I made, that we will follow state statute, and hence the reason we could make the distribution of double the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
We got the money in the bank in a timely manner.
Okay. Can you tell me about a mistake you've made during your time as treasurer?
I can't.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to add regarding your platform or anything?
No, I just I hope that the voting public sees that we've made changes in the office. We're making it more efficient and effective, and they acknowledge that with the vote to keep me in office.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I have a couple more things to go over before I leave, but I'm going to end the recording now because they're really just procedural things.
I got to ask you, since you quit.